Happy Friday, parents. This is the first video I'm sending out to you. This video is in preparation for our next unit test, which will be on Tuesday. Tuesday for everyone except for GRC kids, and they'll take it on Wednesday. So study guide came home today, or should be coming home today, and I wanted to go through this place value chart with you, give you an idea of what we've been looking at in class, and give you some other things to think about as you work through that study guide and as you prepare for the first place value test. So in our math journals, we have this chart that we looked at and filled out together. This is a great way of helping us understand how each place value relates to the next place value and so on. And so in fourth grade, we're working with numbers all the way up to 1,000,000. We went ahead and included the entire period of the millions. We wanted to include the 10 millions and the 100 millions place, just so students could go ahead and start getting a feel for that and go ahead and have an understanding for that. So first two things we're dealing with is place value and periods. So place value are the individual places, they're the ones, the tens, and the hundreds. And then the periods are groups of three place values together. So the ones period has the ones, the tens, and the hundreds place values in it. The thousands period has the 1,000s, the 10,000s, and the 100,000s in it. And the millions period has the 1 millions, the 10 millions, and the 100 millions place. One thing that I mentioned to the students and they seem to have picked up pretty well on is that each period has the same three places in it. The ones, the tens, and the hundreds. Ones, tens, hundreds. Ones, tens, hundreds. It doesn't matter how far you go, no matter how large of a place you go, the period will always have the ones, the tens, and the hundreds within it. Okay, so the next thing that we wanted to think about was the difference between place value and value. Because we'll ask what the value of a number is, or the value of a digit, and we'll also ask the place of it. What place is the digit located? And so, good way to remember that. Place value, place, keyword there, is where it is. Just like if you go somewhere, if you go to a place, you're going to a different location. So that's where the number, the digit is located. The value of it is how much. Just like how much you would value your favorite teddy bear at home. You could put, that's how much is it worth to you. It's very valuable, you would say. All right, so we have place value, which is where a digit is located, and value, which is how much. The next concept that we've been teaching is crucial to understanding the relationship between each place value. And that is the next place value larger is 10 times greater than the one previous to it. So let me explain that a little bit more. So let's take, for example, the ones place. In order to move to the tens place, we've got to have 10 ones. It takes 10 ones to make a 10. It takes 10 tens to make 100. And so on. 10 hundreds to make 1,000, 10 thousands to make a 10,000, 10 10,000s to make 100,000. You get the idea. So each place value we move greater, it's 10 times larger than the one previous to it. Okay? So here we have the example of 5. We have 5s in each of the place values. So this gives us a good representation of how many times greater the value of the 5 in the tens place is compared to the value of the 5 in the ones place. So if we have 5 tens, the value of that is 50. 5 ones, the value of that is 5. So 50 is 10 times greater than 5. Okay? Let's say that we're comparing the tens place to the thousands place. We have 5 tens, which is 50. 5 1,000s, which is 5,000. We're not moving one place value over now, we're moving two place values. So we're going from the tens all the way to the thousands. So how many times larger is 5,000 compared to 50? Well, we got to think moving from the tens to the hundreds is 10 times larger, and from the hundreds to the thousands is 10 times larger than that. So first go-to in a lot of people's minds is, okay, well, I see 10 here, well, that's 20. It's 20 times larger, right? 5,000 is 20 times larger than 50. Well, that's not true. That's not the case. 10 times 10. 10 times larger, 10 times again larger. So the value of 5,000 is 100 times larger than 50. If we were to multiply 100 times 50, that would give us 5,000. Okay, this is really important for our students to recognize as we go throughout. Oops. There we go. It's very important for them to realize the relationship between each of the place values, understanding that each one is 10 times larger or smaller than the one beside it. Okay? Well, now let's think about the number forms. This is also what will be tested on Tuesday in the test. So the number forms that we have, there are 3 different types. We have standard form, expanded form, and word form. These are especially expanded form. Expanded form is something that we will use all year long. So expanded form, let me back up. Standard form, excuse me, standard form. Standard form is how we use normal numbers. So we write numbers in standard form using digits. So just like we would write any regular number, it's the most common way we write numbers. So for example, if I wanted to write the number 5,342, 5,342. Okay? The expanded form of that we break it into each individual place value. So we show the value for each digit. Okay? So starting with the largest place value here, the 5 is in the thousands place, the 1,000s place. There are 5 of them, so its value is 5,000. And what we're doing, we're creating a number sentence here. So 5,000 plus, there are 3 hundreds, so 300, plus 4 tens, which makes 40, and 2 ones. So 2 ones. And I always tell the kids, a number sentence isn't complete without the equal sign, just like a regular sentence is not complete without a period. So I like to include the equal sign and the number written again in standard form, 5,342. Oh, and this is important. I forgot to mention this. When we have periods, the ones periods, the thousands periods, and the millions, they are always separated with a comma. That's something that we oftentimes overlook. Well, why is the comma there? It's to separate the period. So we have the ones period right here, the comma separating the period out, starting the new period with the thousands over here. Okay, and then last but not least, we have the word form, which is one that we don't use quite as much. We use mostly in maybe word problems or story problems, but word form is the last number form. And that's obviously writing a number using words. So 5,000. And it's also important to include the period, the comma, just like you would in writing the number in standard form. 5,342. Include the dash there. Now, I had somebody ask me, well, why, Mr. Wilson, why do we use the dash there? Why is that dash included there but nowhere else? And that was a good question. And I got to thinking about it, and because the tens and the ones place are always said together, like 21 or 25, that's why the dash is there. So the hundreds, 342, we say the hundreds, the 300s. We don't say 4 tens and 2 ones, we say 42. And so that's why anytime we have tens and ones together, we have the dash there to say them together. Okay? So these are the main things that will be on the test. Excuse me. Check out the study guide. If you have any questions or comments, please email me. My email will be listed on the YouTube page and also in the Google Classroom. I would encourage you to leave me feedback. Is this helpful? Is this useful? Is there something you think I could do better? I would love to hear your feedback. Thanks so much.